experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry, we are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com.
Hi, I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Card Mensches.
Well, hello. I guess I'm starting. Welcome to Card Mensches, episode number, where are we, 41?
41, man.
41. That's 82 weeks of Card Mensches. That's
If
crazy.
you haven't had enough, here's another one in your face.
Yep. But tonight, we're, I think, going to have a good show. We're talking about the easy part is the greatest living ball player. But what John doesn't know is I've added 3 other categories to tonight's conversation without telling him. So we're going to have 4 questions that we're going to answer.
Someone secretly switched out my coffee.
Exactly. What's going on, Steven? Hello to everybody. What happened? You both look tired and worn out. I've been at the Chantilly show working all day. I'm in my hotel room. I got in here like 7 minutes ago. I'm not exaggerating.
This is what great looks like. I even took a nap today. Can you imagine if I really look tired and worn out?
I mean, you should be insulted that you look anything like me. So, first of all, I think let's start with the serious part of the conversation. Is we lost a great player, a great human, and certainly a figure in American culture in Willie Mays. Sadly, lost him right before the Rickwood Field game where he played as a young boy. But it gives us a chance to honor his life and his career, and look at baseball beyond Mays to a certain degree. But certainly, R.I.P. Willie. Couldn't agree more. And listen, some people say he was the best 5-tool player ever. Some people say the 5 tools were created because of him on the scouting reports and everything else. So, R.I.P. Willie Mays.
Yeah, I thought, anytime you lose someone, I don't care how old someone is, right? The finality of death and they're not here anymore. It's sad. I think it's a little more sad too that he couldn't see that Rickwood game, and whether it be watching on his TV or there in person. I'm sure he was there in spirit, but the timing of it was sort of, I don't want to say odd, but unfortunate, I guess is a better word. And it's, I think sometimes not in my case, but I think in certain other people's cases, you don't really learn the greatness of somebody until like something like that happens, and you really start deep diving some of the numbers or paying more attention, post, humorously. So, obviously and deservedly so, he's getting, recognition for his playing career. And, but when someone passes away, it's always a sad time. And so, he was, no one was debating when he was alive that he was the greatest living ball player, but now that he has passed on, it opens that door for the discussion, which we'll have tonight. Who takes that belt now that it's been, in a sense, vacated, right? And going to be a lot of different answers. We've got some messages on our social media. We even had a message in the room from TJ, who couldn't be here to watch live. He wanted to weigh in with his opinion, right? There's no wrong answers to this question, unless you say Greg Jeffries, which is my pick tonight, but it's a wrong answer.
It was your pick before anyway, so it didn't matter. I did just put in the chat room, which card of Willie Mays is your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, for me, are you asking me or just in general?
I'll ask you. Just from a cool looking card, not value or anything.
All right, taking value and the rookie significance out, that 53 tops is pretty cool, man. I mean, 53 tops design makes any card look good. Um, but that Willie Mays is a really sharp card. So I would pick the 53 Mays in terms of aesthetics. 51 Bowman, in terms of the meaning and all that other stuff.
52 tops.
Yeah, Orlando's with me. I got
I
a
know.
second from Orlando.
Orlando's on the 53. And I'm not against the 53. I love it. But there's something about the classic 52 set. But like you
Same
said,
thing with 53. 53 is arguably one of the greatest,
I love 53. But 51 Bowman, I'm a sucker for.
73 tops, and he's in a Met uniform. So there's that connection. So got some off the mainstream here. Some picks, Stukes with the 62 Aura Vision. I mean, these are all great. That's what's so awesome about the hobby, guys. Is our opinions are our opinions. They're not wrong. None of these are wrong answers, other than the Greg Jeffries.
Some are wrong, but we just don't tell you. Here's a good answer from Mookie. As always, 54 tops and 73 tops are my favorite Willie cards. 54, he won MVP in the World Series and made the catch. 73, he came home to his fans in New York.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to absolutely concede on the 54 is a great card. He looks so old in that 73 card. To me, it's a little sad.
Yeah, he was on his last. I mean, he was on. It is what it is. That was his last hurrah as a ball player.
Back to New York, I get that, like definitely, but he just looks old in it, and it's a little sad.
Well, he was old. Think about it. His rookie card's 51, and now he's on the 73. That's how long his playing career was, which is a testament to
exactly
him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, most people considered him the greatest living ball player before he passed. And so I have some questions tonight. A shout out for the 64 tops Giants is great too.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those. For those that don't know, I bulk sub for SGC. I'm not necessarily Mays alone, but I've been getting a lot of 64 Giant tops cards, like for grading. So,
and just that's a separate set. That's not the team, the Giants.
Yeah, no, that's the bigger size.
Well, it's Mays, so I didn't want any confusion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so John, I mixed in a couple questions here. First two, and I wanted to separate these because I think it's going to take the conversation in a different place. Who's the greatest living player, and who's the greatest living Hall of Famer?
How would that be different, though? Like, chances are they're going to be in. Well, they could be. They could be. I'm going
to give you Pete Rose and Barry Bonds as two examples.
All right.
So, greatest living player to me is Sandy Koufax. I understand.
Listen, I love Sandy Koufax. I love Sandy Koufax. I'm not arguing Sandy Koufax. And my pick is a guy I don't like, but I got you can say a lot of things about me, but I call it like I see it, right? It's got to be Barry Bonds. And I love Ken Griffey Jr. He's right there in the mix. But it's Barry Bonds, and I don't like Barry Bonds. I wish I didn't have to say Barry Bonds. It hurts a little bit deep down in the solar plexus or whatever.
It should.
But it is Barry Bonds. Like, it is, like, if you look at even prior to the HGH stuff, he was in the sense of Hall of Famer.
So that's my problem, is how do you look at 73 home runs and say, yeah, that seems reasonable? I mean,
yeah, that's one season enhanced, but before he start using this is my point.
But I can't judge.
He was a Hall of Famer before that. That's the sad part about it, is because of that whole controversy in the usage, it's costing him his just due. It's costing him entrance into the Hall. But there's no argument whether Barry Bonds is a Hall of Fame player. He just broke rules, and that's why he's on the outside looking in. But if he's still alive. So to answer this question honestly, which is what I'm going to do, I do not like Barry Bonds, but he's my answer to this question. Would I love to say Sandy Koufax and be honest in my sincereness? Sure, but I wouldn't be honest if I said that. And then there's something about playing every day and pitching every fifth day. There's a difference. And so I'm going to say Barry Bonds. I don't want to say Barry Bonds. I'm saying Barry Bonds. And I see I hate the fact that he used. I hate it. But like he's still the answer to this question.
Well,
for me.
It depends. Are you giving more value to the fact that he was an everyday player versus Koufax?
For sure. I said that already.
Well, you said that to me offline. I wasn't sure if you said it online.
Yeah. When I think about greatest living ball player, unless there's a serious drop-off from that pitcher to the positional player, it's always going to be a positional player to me. So that's why it's Bonds over Koufax. Now, I'm not even sure if Bonds wasn't my answer, but still wouldn't be someone else over Koufax. Some of the guys for me that were in my mind, we've seen them mentioned in the chat room. I'm a big advocate for Griffey Jr. I love.
What about Pete Rose? What about Ichiro?
Pete Rose.
Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols. I'll even throw Ichiro on that list. I know he was playing in Japan first, but he came over here and did some incredible stuff in a shorter amount of time, and just an incredible ball player. So, Mike Schmidt is another one that I see mentioned.
Reggie Jackson.
Mike
Trout has to be mentioned.
Not in my book at this point.
Well, maybe not, but if we're having this conversation in, let's say, 5-10 years,
you better start playing some more.
I agree with you there, but does that hurt Griffey? Does Griffey's hamstring caused him the conversation? Because he hit 57 home runs 2 years in a row?
Yeah, listen, I love Ken Griffey Jr. and I don't like Barry Bonds, but I can't put Griffey ahead of Bonds on the numbers. It's closer than people probably think. Maybe not to some others. There is rumors about Pujols using and whatnot. That's why I love Ken Griffey Jr. because he did this during an era where a lot of people were using, and he's never ever mentioned, suspected. He's a no report, and the stuff he's done in an era when a lot of other people were using performance enhancers and he wasn't, adds to his mystique.
Right.
Yeah. So
then the question is you're keeping Bonds ahead of Griffey? Are you putting Griffey ahead of?
I am, and I wish I didn't have to. I love Griffey and I don't love Bonds, but when we ask these questions, right? If I'm watching a show, I don't want the host to not give a sincere answer, so I can't do the same thing. I'm going to tell you it's Bonds, and I hate saying that it's Bonds, but it is. Even before the HGH and the cream, and all that stuff, which is the same, he was putting up good numbers. That's the sad part, though, Danny, is he didn't necessarily need to do that, and now he's suffering the consequences.
Mookie's getting me worked up. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mookie.
Yeah, Clemens, one of those guys. Another guy I'm not a big fan of, but
somebody's gonna mention Nolan Ryan, and we're gonna have to talk about how overrated he is. And I'll say Steve Carlton because I think he's underrated.
Yeah, Stan Musial's gone, but Stan Musial is one of the vastly underrated guys when we look at overall what dead or
living players.
But we've done that show. We've done that show. It's Bonds. I wish I could say another name like Griffey.
So rank your top four. Let's do top four because I think that makes it hard.
I'm gonna go Bonds. I'm gonna go Griffey Jr.
Okay.
Just in case any senior fans are listening and they just
Right,
made their
right.
day. Man, the last two were those two kind of rise to the top, and then you got your Pujols, your Schmidt, your Reggies, your Koufax. You know,
Koufax is above a Schmidt and a Reggie.
yeah. I'll put Koufax as my fourth. So now that leaves that third guy.
Ricky Henderson's an interesting name.
You know what? Ricky Henderson. Look at that. Like, I know he gets like
He's a compiler.
He's not the Mensa guy, so sometimes he gets kind of picked on, or yeah. Other than Bench,
Johnny Bench is
I'm gonna go. Mine would be Bonds, Griffey, Henderson, Koufax.
Bonds choked in every postseason.
Yeah, I get it.
You're going Bonds, Griffey, Ricky Henderson, Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, and then Pujols, Ichiro.
Really?
You know what? You ask me tomorrow, I'll give you like two different names.
Okay.
That's how this list works.
All right, so here's where I am. Okay. I think terribly underrated Pete Rose. I think all the other stuff has diminished the player that was Pete Rose. And that's all we're talking about right now. We're just talking about the player. Okay. I think you got to have Pete Rose in the top four. To me, I understand that you discount pitchers. There's Jim Palmer.
I don't like the word discount. I don't like the word discount.
Okay. They don't carry as much weight.
All right.
Okay. Except for David Wells,
who I was mistaken for at a Yankees game.
I
don't know if that's why you mentioned him. Just a fat joke against Newman. Thank you.
No. It was a coincidence, actually. David Wells was an Oriole, so I have a soft spot for him. I have Koufax number 1, Bonds number 2, Pete Rose 3, Griffey 4.
Yeah. I like Pete Rose. Like I don't love Pete Rose. I like Pete Rose.
I don't like the person.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. Either. You're right. The player, like, incredible. He's the hits leader still. Probably always will be at this point. He'll tell you how great he is himself. Sometimes I'm not a fan of that, but he is a great player.
Hey, Jim Palmer doesn't lack any ego. He's an Orioles broadcaster, and he's still one of the top pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
Is Bob Gibson still alive?
No, I think he passed recently.
He did pass, yeah. So Mookie, I've thought about this. He's not in the top 4 yet. He's still too young. If I did a top 10, he would be on there.
Yeah, he's not in the top 4, man. Like, I like Cal Ripken, but
I love Cal Ripken. I think he will one day be the greatest living ball player, but he's not in the top 4 right now. Okay, so that leads Yaz. That's a great one.
Oh my God. He's got. Can I do my list over?
Do your list over.
All right, I'm gonna. Man, this hurts again. I gotta keep saying them. I gotta go Bonds.
Don't put Yaz over Griffey. You're going to, aren't you?
No. Okay. I think I'm going Bonds. God, it's hard. Man. I'm going Bonds, Henderson, Griffey, Yaz, Rose, Koufax.
Bonds, Henderson, Griffey, Koufax.
Rose, Koufax.
Okay.
And I like Pujols, but that whole cloud of whether he used or not does.
He also had a last 5 to 10 years that were not.
Yeah, he kind of hung on and accumulated some stats. He's
Well,
not the only guy
he had
that
the
ever
foot
did that, though.
injuries and stuff he was battling and all that
I'm a
stuff.
Yaz guy, man. That was one of my favorite, like, non New York players. But he was from Long Island, so he was a New Yorker, but he didn't play on the New York team, obviously playing for the Red Sox. So one of my favorite players. So yeah. And
Okay.
and it has nothing to do with it. Like, he's the only living Triple Crown winner at this point.
We lost Frank recently. Yep.
Yeah, so you got to take that into that's you probably I don't know if you ever see that really. It's very rare. Cabrera, I think was the last one if I'm not mistaken. You're not going to see that often if and when it even happens again. And besides that Triple Crown, he's an incredible ball player. So I just you forget about dudes when you're racking your brain and you're putting these lists together. So.
Yes, Miguel Cabrera is still alive.
Yeah.
You know what? He was a heck of a ball player. I'm not putting him on the list, but
His last few years, like it was like the Tigers wanted him not to be there, but he wanted to. It was
when he was young.
Obviously,
he was as good of a hitter as I've ever seen when he was younger.
Yeah, I think
a right-handed hitter was just dangerous.
I think his last 5 to 6 years. I don't want to say sour. You don't sour a Hall of Fame career, but it didn't. It wasn't the cherry on the top, so to speak, if you will.
Okay, well, I got a couple more questions. So let's kind of tie this one in with the greatest living Hall of Famer and do your top 4 that way. Greatest living Hall of Famer.
I mean, you have to take the list. So then it would be Henderson.
Rickey Henderson's your number 1 living Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I gotta say, man. Again, I'm not a huge.
You're bigger on Rickey than I am.
You gotta look at like the overall body of work. I think what hurts Rickey. Should I talk like Rickey? Now, you know what hurts Rickey? Let me tell you what hurts Rickey. I played on a lot of teams, and people don't like that. Rickey played on a lot of teams. No one liked that.
That's a terrible voice.
That's why I don't get asked to do it at like shows.
But you know what? Why was he on so many teams if he was that great?
Maybe he was not a great clubhouse guy. I don't know I honestly don't know the honest answer to that. That's a good question.
Rickey, a great Mets Hall of Famer. No one loves Rickey more than Rickey.
He played for half the teams in Major League Baseball.
Orlando has Bonds, Griffey, Koufax, Rickey for his 4.
Similar to mine. I moved Koufax down a little bit and moved Yaz up.
And you know what? Johnny Bench.
He is.
Might be the greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah, I'm probably not being fair to Bench. I'm just not a huge Bench. Yeah, that might be my deep love for Thurman.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Okay, so greatest living Hall of Famers.
So I'm going to go with my list, and then so it would be Henderson, Griffey, yes, and then it can't be
Henderson, Griffey, yes, and then one more.
Then it probably has to be a Bench or Schmidt.
Not a Koufax.
Man,
you really don't want to pick a pitcher.
I try not to. But if it makes you feel better, if I did pick a pitcher,
you're being honest. I want you to be honest. I don't have to agree.
If I did pick a pitcher, it would be Koufax.
But you're not. You're wrong. What do you want me to do? You're just skipping the whole position.
Yeah, I'm not skipping the position. When I just think of greatest ball player of all time, it's a guy that's in the lineup every day, man. And that's not Koufax's fault. He's such a great pitcher. That's what he got to do. And was probably one of the greatest to ever do it. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him. When we make these lists, I have to take that into consideration.
This is a fair comment and probably a great conversation. Ruben says he'd put Randy Johnson over Koufax. I mean, Randy Johnson was similar to Koufax. He had some bad years before he figured it out.
Listen, what's the knock? If there's a knock on Koufax, it was the length of his career, right?
His peak was short.
Yeah, it was dominant, but it was like his last year. He went like 26-4. That was his last year. It was arguably his best year.
And he couldn't brush his teeth and move his arm,
Like that's insane.
He says he'll take Ichiro, Ricky, Griffey, and Bench for his Hall of Famers, best living Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I wouldn't even argue. I don't know if that's the order.
Is Ichiro in yet?
No, he's not in. So you got to take Ichiro off. He will be in next year if my math is right. So
that takes out Pujols.
Pujols and Ichiro going in the same year.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so I mean, to me, I'm not going to skip pitchers, but I think you got to look at Griffey.
I'm not skipping pitchers. I got to pick. To me, Hodges going with the 70s right there, 60s and 70s.
Bench. Yeah,
70s and 80s. Henderson is
70s
80s.
and 80s. Yeah, I mean Schmidt played in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if you look, Koufax is in the small hall, and a lot of these guys are in the slightly bigger hall.
I don't want to say small hall. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher, man. There's no debate in that with anybody. When we do these lists, I'm looking at everyday guys.
But not all Hall of Famers are equal. Harold Baines is not the same as Babe Ruth.
Did Harold Baines make anyone's list here?
I mean, Edgar Martinez, has anybody mentioned him? No. Pujols will be eligible for the first time in 2028.
I think it's sooner than that, I thought.
Well,
I could be wrong.
5 years from retirement.
I thought it was 26.
No, I lost track of when he retired.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple more questions, and the next one is really one that I think is a great way to look at this. Greatest living player card. So is it the Nolan Ryan rookie, the Koufax rookie?
It's a good question, man. And I had no prep.
89 Upper Deck Griffey, PSA 10.
Yeah, there's just too many of those, man. Not necessarily there are too many 10s, but just too many.
Well, that's my point. Ricky Henderson rookie.
Great card. A lot of them, double printed in a sense.
Well, I mean, Ruben obviously knows the winner. 89 Fleer Bill Ripken. Fun face.
Why not the Jackson Holiday Series 2 Topps card?
I think I'm the only person who finds his face creepy in that picture.
But that makes it funny. That makes the card kind of cool in its own right.
So
I'm gonna, Koufax. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna make it up a little bit here to say. I mean, the Koufax, the 55 Topps Koufax is definitely on that short list for greatest living player card.
Okay.
When I think of the guys, I think of the guys that's on my that made my list without the card part of it. I can't pick the Henderson card. I can't pick a Bonds card.
What? Orlando has the 86 Topps traded Tiffany Bonds. It's a great card.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. I'm trying not to pick them. So, so I'm not going to pick the card. I'll pick the player because I got to give just desserts there. I got probably Koufax. The Schmidt card is not a classic card. You know what I mean?
Brett, none of those guys.
You got the double card of Ryan. So, yeah, I guess it would be Koufax. I love the Griffey card. I try to get them anytime I can pick one up and add to it, but just so many of them.
This is true. I heard somebody else say this. Jackson Holiday does look like the Mad Magazine guy.
He does. That is.
Ruben, great call.
Yeah,
The 01 Topps
this
Chrome
is
and Chrome
this.
pull holes.
I
Two
think
great
Ruben. I agree with Ruben. This one is on my list for sure. This and the Koufax.
Here's a great one. Jason's living Hall of Fame rotation. Maddox, Koufax, Johnson, Ryan, Carlton. Wow.
Yeah, those are all great. Maddox is one of those guys. Maddox and Tony Gwynn, like modern day or more recent don't get enough credit. Maddox was an insanely great pitcher that we don't talk about in the same vein and with other guys. Like I think Maddox is actually better than Randy Johnson. I know we had Randy Johnson over Koufax. I kind of like Maddox better than Randy Johnson. I mean, Randy Johnson could throw it through a steel plate, and Maddox probably couldn't. But, when you talk about, hey, we need to win this game, who do you want on the mound, like out of these guys? Yeah, Tony Oliva, 65 Topps. 65 Topps, one of my favorite designs.
A lot of love for Pedro here. We haven't talked about him.
Yeah. He's another guy. You know what hurts some of these guys? It's not necessarily fair. It's the Ricky Henderson thing we talked about. Pedro played on 4 or 5 teams. I think people
associate him with the Red Sox. I think that's different.
Well, I think a lot of people associate Ricky Henderson with the Oakland A's for a good
or the Yankees.
More the A's, I think, than the Yankees, and then he's got Blue Jays, Mets, Padres. I think even the Giants. And listen, we as a fellow Met fan, you appear one day. If you're even like in the stands attending the game and you're on a Mets card, you're a Mets player. So
greatest living player card to me. I know everybody's going to laugh in my chalk on this. It's the Koufax rookie. To me, it's a no.
I'm right there with you. I like the Pujols Ichiro Chrome dual rookie card. How about that? Two players like that on the same card. Chrome in its early days of existence, right? Not the Chrome we know today in the hobby.
Let's do asking about relievers.
Raleigh Mariano.
Goose Gossage, Mariano Rivera. Been a lot of them.
I got a funny, real quick Goose Gossage story. So I guess speaking of Hall of Fame, I got to meet him at the Hall of Fame when I was a kid in New York.
And he's not an actual Goose, by the way.
No, it's actually Goose Gossage, the reliever and pitcher. Back when they pitched 2 or 3 innings to get a save, right? So he always scared me. Like he was like a menacing, with the mustache that came all the way down to the bottom of the jawline. He always scared me. So I got to meet him and talk with him inside the Hall of Fame. It was sort of a meet and greet. So it was my turn. I went up to him, shook his hand, and I said to him, Goose, I'm a New York City kid, Brooklyn, watched you a lot, whether it be at Yankee Stadium or on TV. You always were menacing. You scared me. And he said, how about now? And I said, not as much. He laughed. I laughed. But we talked a little bit more after that. So funny. There's my funny, 1 minute Goose Gossage story. But yeah, he was great too. I think Mariano kind of came
he's the
along.
greatest closer ever.
You can.
But if we're talking about player card, if we talk about player card, would you put any reliever on the list?
What with 92 Bowman Mariano in his like slacks and
in his khakis? Yeah.
It's pretty cool card when you think about cards.
It's an ugly card.
I like it more than I guess you do.
Obviously. I don't know. It looks like he's going for a job application. Like he's going to apply for a job at Staples or something.
Well, and for those that I think many people know, like he was a failed starter. That's how he got to be. Or he was almost out of baseball. Like the Yankees were at their last nerve with him, and he developed a split finger and became the greatest closer. That story almost didn't have that movie ending. He was almost out of baseball. So when you think about that, right? For pitchers, that's on my list for sure. People, you know what's weird about the 92 Bowman Mariano?
What?
People either love the card or they hate it. There's really no in betweens.
That's probably true. But I'm also somebody who I'm not a big fan of the 90s look on a lot of the sets.
Yeah, but that 92 Bowman is I even like that design to this day. Like it's they have the gold, they got the gold edgy cards, but even the base card, which is nothing, it's just the white with some of the orange and black, piping on it, if you will. Even though it's a simple design, it's actually pretty nice looking. I opened a lot of 92 Bowman. Holy smokes. That was my first year of owning a card store. And it's one of the first products we got in, huh?
You have an emotional attachment.
Yeah, but isn't that part of the hobby?
It's a big part of the hobby.
So there you go. I'm gonna hang my hat on that peg.
That's why you love those khakis. You love those khakis because they remind you of the good
It was
days.
so different, man. Like it was such a different thing,
It was.
That we weren't getting on other cards. That's why I say people either love it or they hate it. There's no it moves the meter one way or the other. There's no either way.
Hodges says Mariano Rivera's rookie card is like pineapple on pizza. Love it or hate it. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
I
love pineapple and I love pizza.
I do not love pineapple on pizza.
I love pineapple. I love pizza. I don't have pineapple on pizza, but I love both items.
Okay.
So we turned into a food show. So
we always turn into a food show for. So who are your top 4 or 5 player cards?
For living, you're saying for living?
Yep. And Mookie says John gets emotional when he sees Mariano in his khakis. Got it.
especially if they're Hager, however you say it.
Right.
My favorite khaki.
I bet they're Dockers. I bet they're Dockers.
Not Levi's, it's Hager or Hager, however.
They're Dockers.
Yeah. Yeah, Koufax. That Ichiro Pujols Chrome dual rookie.
I love Yaz rookie.
Yeah, I love it too. It's right behind me here. I'm probably blocking it, but it is behind me. Yeah, so top 5, I'll go. Koufax got to make my top 5. I'm going to put the Ichiro's Pujols in there. I'm going to put the Mariano. I think we got to give, I know it's a different card, but that's my third. I like the Yaz.
Ricky rookie.
That's behind me too. It's not a great card, man. Like in terms of the shot, like it's a kind of a distant shot. The photography's honestly not great. It's kind of blurry.
It's not Stadium Club.
No, it is not Stadium Club. I think it was Topps trying to be Stadium Club before they actually could like master it.
They hadn't bought the good cameras yet. They were still in the.
It was the 1980s attempt at Stadium Club, but it fell short. It's a great card because it's the players who's on it, and it's his rookie, right? That's what that card is. So that leaves one more spot. I don't know, man. It's so tough. I feel like we're even, the 89 upper. I'm going to put the 89 upper deck Griffey in the 5 spot, though. I don't want to rank it too high. Okay. But it is. That card brought people into the hobby that weren't hobbyists.
It's still the most graded card of all time.
So I'll put it in. It'll be my 5th card out of my 5.
Okay.
Probably should be high. I'm putting it in the 5 slot. It's like the AP college football rankings, right? Probably should have got a higher rating, but I'm putting it 5.
Dylan's coming after you, John.
I know, but Dylan, listen, it's not the greatest looking card. It's a great card, but it's not the greatest looking card. Like if you're opening 1980 tops, you sure as hell want to pull a Ricky Henderson rookie card. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying aesthetically pleasing. It's not beautiful. I don't think it's beautiful for the player whose first card it is. But if you took the name off and if you colored in the name, on the pennant, and you just said, "Hey, what do you think of this card?" It's not a great looking card.
But the Griffey is.
It is. What do you want to use my line? What do I like?
What? Big butts?
Straight facial close-up rookie
card.
Oh, right. That
right.
Griffey's that card. That Griffey's the card. Yeah, after really thinking about it, I put it back in my list.
Barry with the Nolan Ryan.
I don't own that card. I have owned it in the past. I don't love that card.
The Ryan rookie because of Kuzman, or you don't like multiplayer rookies?
You know what's weird? I don't like that card, but I like the Seaver rookie, and it's really the same difference by a year.
Well, Seaver's not alive anymore, so
no. But I'm saying in general, I'm not talking about alive versus dead. Yeah, 69 bench. I know it's his second year, but there's people who believe it's his rookie card, just like the 52 Topps Mail. People say that's his rookie card. The 69 bench is a cool looking card. It is a cool looking card.
Dylan says that he's been listening and working. He had to chime in. Evidently, the rookie
always
got him worked up.
I know. And I maybe I'm being a little tough on the Henderson. Listen, I put him on my top living ball players. I put him on my top.
Big fan of the Bo Jackson.
I like the 87 Donruss rated rookie. If we're going Bo Jackson, if we were doing,
I like the 90 score
motorcycle passing by.
That's all right. I'm in a motel. I like the score at the bat in the football. The score,
I like the 87 Donruss rated rookie.
This is great, Mookie.
I feel like I explained why. Again, it's the card you want to pull out of 80 tops. No one's debating that. But it's not great. Look, you want me to pull this card out? I mean, everyone knows what it looks like. I'm taking everything out. So, right.
Agree with you, Hammer.
This is a great card.
That's what I was saying before. I think that's got to be considered on the list.
The only problem, here's the thing that I think hurt. They used pretty much the same picture in 61 tops, which kind of hurts this card. Right? I love this card, man. I try to pick these up.
Yeah.
Anytime I can. Right? Well, come on, man. Like, I mean, it's not terrible. I'm not saying the card's terrible. But I would have rather seen Ricky on this card like this with just Ricky instead of Griffey. I would have liked the card itself much better.
So we are talking about, just to catch people up, the greatest living player card. So which card for a living player is the greatest card? And we're trying to do our top 4 or 5. For me, and I'm not quite in order yet, but after this conversation, I've been thinking about it. I got to have the Koufax rookie. Definitely the Bo Jackson. Definitely the Yaz. Definitely the Griffey. I'm tempted to say those are my 4 favorite cards.
Yeah, you can't argue with the Koufax.
No, you can't.
It's got my facial close up that I so love.
Yep. You know, do more facials.
It's got I'm a fan for like the 2 poses. You got the face and the pose in the background. you know. So
So
that's what's great about these lists, right? Is we can be all over the place, and other people are going to have their own version, and no one's wrong. I'm not wrong. Stooks is not wrong. Dylan's not wrong. You're wrong. But
no, this is twice tonight. Barry says, y'all both look tired. Must have put a lot of thought into that question.
we are aging. We are aging gracefully.
Oh, I can't believe we've been called tired twice. That's great. Dylan says, I feel it's only a matter of time before John knocks something over. You know what? When he went to pull out the Kofax,
I love my applesauce. You promised me. You promised me applesauce tonight.
Bo or Reggie?
Go with the shtick of looking old.
Bo Jackson or Reggie? You know, the Reggie rookie's cool and famous, but I think Bo, for me, I just like it. I connect with him more.
Yeah, but that Jeter card, and I know, most people probably know that card. It's kind of a gimmicky card. And because then we could put the 89 Billy Ripken that I know you love,
Yep.
on the list. Billy Ripken, not a great ball player itself, but the card is a legendary card for obvious reasons. Well, there's going to be there's going to be a Mensch card coming. So maybe that makes. I don't know if we'll look old and tired on that card.
Should that be our new name? Card Mensches Old and Tired. Tune in at 9.
That's our new movie coming out in 2025.
All right. So the last question that I wanted to ask tonight is expanding from baseball just a little bit. Greatest living athlete. So covering all sports. This is very well played. Cheers, Barry. An honorable mention. Mookie doesn't like your logic that the Jeter rookie card is good.
But
Mariano makes you emotional.
All right, let me explain this real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time.
Okay.
DeMariano's really him just leaning up against in street clothes. That's the shot they used. They didn't put Photoshop, Bush and in there. So that's the gimmick. You might not like DeMariano because he's not in a Yankee uniform pitching or on the field. I get that part, but it's not a gimmicky card in the sense of comparatively speaking to the Jeter, which is 100% tongue-in-cheek stuff.
You're wrong, but it's okay. Yeah. Greatest living athlete: Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Kelly Slater. Dylan, go back to work. I thought you were going back to work.
Kelly Slater's a surfer, just so you know.
There was no doubt I knew that Kelly Slater was a surfer when Dylan.
I just want to make sure you knew that before
I was ready.
I thought you were going to think he was a character on Saved by the Bell.
That was AC Slater, and now you're talking, my wheelhouse. If you bring up Boy Meets World and Topanga, then you've really got it. Athlete definition: Bo Jackson, Michael Phelps, great call. Not going to argue with the Baltimore boy, greatest Olympian ever. Kelly Slater too.
Wow, 2 for Kelly Slater.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Jordan's got to be on that short list, man. Jordan does have to be on that short list.
Ohtani or Danny Ainge? You know what? I collect multi-sport players. Respect the Danny Ainge shout out, but no.
I think that's why he mentioned him, is because he knows that you. I don't think Ruben did that because he thinks Danny Ainge.
I don't know. Danny Ainge.
Ohtani's got to be on that list. Jordan's got to be on that list.
Serena Williams.
Yeah, I mean Barry Bonds, minus the whole thing.
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky, man, that guy. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky's a good one.
Tiger Woods.
I think had he kept up
We all did,
trajectory.
Barry. We all did.
I didn't.
Well, then that's yeah.
But that might have been I was a little bit older and I could have got arrested. I'm thinking. I didn't watch that show either.
It was right in my wheelhouse.
I didn't watch that show.
Mookie nailed it with Vogelbach.
Dan Vogelbach. Yes.
Mets Hall of Famer.
How about John Crook?
What do I think of Hard Knocks doing the entire NFC North? Well, this is for John, and I can both answer this. John Harbaugh said it's all fake and made up, and to just ignore it. So that's how I treat Hard Knocks. I enjoy watching other teams. I don't need to see the Ravens.
The Steelers refused to do it, so this is the only way they agreed to do it is with the whole division doing it. So I don't know how much they're going to be featured or not featured on it. Am I interested? Yeah, I'm interested in it just because I'm a Steeler fan and I like to see behind the scenes stuff, right? But like you said, how much of it is for the camera and how much of it is naturally occurring?
Yeah. Ruben says, I agree. I don't need to see the Ravens either.
All I know, one of the first things we're doing, one of the first things me and Danny are doing after this episode is firing our makeup artist after tonight.
I mean, I my ego has gone down.
I don't need to come on here and be told I'm old and tired. I'm married for 25 years. I get that at home.
I was about to say I'm only married 20 and I get it. Kelly married AC, so we got Kelly Slater.
We got Boy Meets World. We got Saved by the Bell. We got Pineapple Pizza.
Wait, we got Edgar Allan Poe here. A little quote the Ravens, nevermore.
You never know what the heck we're going to talk about.
So wait, greatest living athlete. I do want to take this seriously. Yes, Messi has to be mentioned. I don't think Jordan got enough love in this conversation. You know, I think we do need to talk about Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did going back to Florida State, if you just want to look at what he did there, I mean, just a generational athlete.
Yeah, this list is long, especially when you open it up, obviously, to all sports and athletes. So, you know, all great choices. And here's another one for rookie card. Great, Dave Winfield 74 tops.
Yeah,
that's a great card.
I was just going to say he's an underrated athlete in general.
Yeah, he was. I think he could have played almost all four major sports. Definitely basketball and football. I don't think he played.
Jordan of Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves was a defensive back and from Baltimore, by the way.
There you go.
How about Sid Finch?
How about Jason Varitek? Just so I can say I gave up a home run to the greatest living athlete of all time.
Al Bundy also answered Danny's question. I hear he scored 4 touchdowns.
I just seen him on TV today.
What's going on, John? Ruben, I just roll my eyes whenever you mentioned he was from
Baltimore. You do this with Baltimore folks. I do this with like New York City or Brooklyn folks. So.
Ruben, throw in the Pittsburgh guys if you want. Throw in whoever you want. I happen to be from Baltimore.
Yeah, I think aren't we always proud of like our hometown heroes?
Yep. Anyone can kick, throw, hit a ball. It takes decades to be a good surfer. Respecting Kelly Slater does not take away the skill of other sports.
Is Kelly Slater like is he the Michael Jordan of surfing? And then my question, who's the LeBron James of surfing?
LeBron James wasn't mentioned on greatest athletes, living athletes.
I wouldn't put him there.
How about Jerry Rice? Jerry Rice was good at a specific thing. He was greatest wide receiver ever. but I don't think you look at him as an all-over athlete. I mean, he wasn't a 4.4, 4.3 guy. He had good hands and could run a good route.
I had to show off that Pete. I don't think I've ever showed it on a live before.
John's going to get something, evidently, in the middle of our show. Whoever said John was going to knock something over? Was that you, Ruben? LeBron James.
I picked this up. Last month.
Agreed. Here you go. 11-time world champion on Slater.
How about an 86 Topps football rack pack with Jerry Rice sealed on the top? Come on, that's cool. A great. Jerry Rice is definitely on the list. I wouldn't be my first pick.
Dick Groat. Good one.
That's just fun to say. We should do a show, names that are just fun to say. Dick
Kelly
Groat.
is 51 years old and just now retired this year. There you go.
Rusty Kuntz. Rusty Kuntz is another name fun to say.
I'm still not over the fact that there was a player named Mike Tyson whose nickname was Rocky from our last show.
Yeah, played on the Cardinals.
74. Oh, wow. Does Hobby Palooza have a makeup budget? Oh, remember 10 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time, you'll kick off with Hobby Hotline. At 4 o'clock is Hobby News Daily. And on Sunday at 4 p.m., you can see Card Mensches.
Yeah, we're doing a special Sunday version at 4 p.m. on Sunday, obviously. And that will be, if you remember, we did the best card from each American League team, our favorite card, I should say, from each American League team. We're doing the National League version of that. I was supposed to have Dick Perez and Mark Evans on, but they had a scheduling conflict, so you get Danny instead. Sans makeup as well.
I might go buy some makeup.
You should wear masks. I think everyone's saying just to put masks on.
Instead of the masked singer, we can be like the baseball card collectors.
The masked Mensches.
The masked Mensches. We can be like Zorro, but instead we go around like Shabbos candles on Friday nights.
Dick Trickle for all name for the all-name team. Dick Groat, Dick Trickle, Rusty Kuntz.
By the way, Logan has quite a collection. King NASCAR of names, and he's got a pretty thorough collection. Actually.
Speaking of Hall of Famers, he's a PSA Hall of Famer.
There you go.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. All right, Mr. Newman, we're winding down, and evidently the two of us are old, tired, and need makeup.
I guess my question: do we look worse now or worse at the beginning?
The funny thing is, I feel like I got more energy now.
I took a nap today. That's the scary thing. That's the scary part. I actually took a 2-hour nap this afternoon.
I knew I was going to look like shit, but they're calling you out on it too. You should feel bad.
Dude, I'm 51 years old. Apparently, I look 61, but or worse. But
and the
what am I going to do? Apparently, we got to call plastic surgeon. Maybe we'll get a 2-for-1 deal on plastic surgeon.
I don't think you want discount plastic surgery.
Well, next time I come into Baltimore, we'll catch an Orioles game and get Botox. Botox and Orioles.
I take my lessons from Joan Rivers. I'm going to stay away.
At the end,
Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, he was in there. He's in the. This list is long. We could do a top 100 greatest that living athletes too. Like we could do a top 100 living. If you did even like extended it to even non-living, this list is even harder.
Barry, it wasn't just you. We got it from a couple people.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Ruben says it's the lighting. It's not me. It's the lighting.
On John's end.
I like Ruben. I like Ruben. Listen,
Ruben,
I
whatever
like
I've done to you, I'm sorry.
I like Ruben the person and the sandwich, both.
I feel like I've somehow hurt him and I don't know it. Mookie says, "Don't ever discount plastic surgery or discount sushi."
Yeah, stay away from gas station sushi,
Sushi,
7-Eleven sushi. You could wind up getting surgery after eating gas station sushi. That's possible. Or your stomach pump.
Ruben saying that he was saying that's why John looks old because of his lighting. So I look young, evidently. I'll take that, Ruben. See,
what I'm going to do as soon as the show's over and I took my nap today, I'm going to put on my cape and bite someone's neck and try to get young.
You know what's funny?
Suck your blood.
I'll tell you offline. This is not a public story. I just realized. Okay. We'll leave on these words. Whatever you do, do not eat the pistachio ice cream. It has turned.
I don't know if I've had. I'm sure I've had pistachio ice cream. I love pistachio. Me and my dad, if there's pistachios, the nut itself, and me and my dad are around, those will be gone. Between both of us, I think he likes them a little bit more. That's like one of the things I get him for like a birthday or Christmas every. There's like a big giant bag of pistachios. That's like his number one snack food, and I like it too. So sometimes I get that knowing he's probably going to open it up that day or where we are, and I'm going to get to eat it on him as well. Oh my goodness! Oh, for a minute I thought there was two of you.
Oh no, this is just the hotel internet. I think that's a sign. Guys, I'm in a motel. I'm at the Chantilly show.
Motel 6. He's at the Motel
Stay America. Thank you very much.
How many hours do you have left on your stay at the Motel 6?
Doppelgangers. Danny.
That was scary. You were old times 2 right there for a second.
That would make me almost 100. So we can skip that. First it was Dolly, now Danny. Leave the light on for us, Motel 6. Headed to Fargo, North Dakota show tomorrow. Well, it's probably cooler there than it is here. All right, my friend. Thank you for helping carry my energy load, even though you took some abuse.
I'm a good sport. If you know, I live by the saying, if you can dish it out, you got to take it. Listen, I'm not a young guy, so I get it. It is what it is. I'm still here though, somehow, some way.
I'm just a tired looking booger eating guy. So
that should have been. We should have put that on the card.
I think that's what my wife is now going to use at our anniversary dinners.
Yeah, there you go.
Good night, John. Good night, Danny. Good night, Barry. Let me get this off the screen here.
By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before. My dad's name is Barry Newman. So there you go.
John, we will see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, be prepared. We cannot guarantee anybody's safety, as I always say.
As good night, moon, good night, stars. All right. Say good night, John.
Not before I say I'm going to go get a facelift done before tomorrow's show. So with that, I'll say good night, John.
See you guys.